Yes, hello everyone. Welcome to today's webinar where we will talk about the World Bank Scholarship Program and also the master program offered by IHS. We have quite a few registrations, so I just want to give a minute for more people to join. And in the meantime, I will introduce the speakers today. And I would like to invite you also to introduce yourselves in the chat, where you come from, maybe what you want to learn from today's webinar. And also, if you have any questions, you can put them in the Q&A box. We will have a moment towards the end of the presentation where we will address your questions. My name is Michaela. I am a communications officer and enrollment advisor at IHS, and today I will be moderating the session. And with me, we also have my colleague Laurel, who is admissions officer at IHS and one of our current students and also World Bank awardee, Elohim, who is part of the Urban Environment, Sustainability and Climate Change specialization. And later on, she will share her personal experience and some tips for you during the application. I see we have a few people already. So I will move on with a quick introduction of the topics that we will cover during the presentation. Please note that this session is recorded, so later on you can go back to it. We will upload it to our YouTube channel. And again, feel free to ask any questions. So we will start with a brief introduction about the scholarship for those of you who might not have heard about it before. Then we will cover the eligibility criteria and how you can apply. And after that, we will move on to a few more details about our master program. If any of you have not heard about it or haven't applied yet, we will cover the 4 master tracks. We will address some important deadlines and practical information. Then, as I mentioned, Elohim will share her own experience and tips. And then we will dedicate some time for a Q&A. And from here, I'll give the floor to Laurel.
Yes, hi everyone. So just a few quick words about the World Bank Scholarship itself, because some people might not be familiar with this. So the World Bank Scholarship, it's meant for professionals who are applying for a master's degree within the development field. So this is why you can apply for the World Bank Scholarship for an IHS master program. The World Bank Scholarship is an almost fully funded scholarship because it covers your tuition fee, the flight tickets, so your return and incoming flights, and your health insurance. And so people who are awarded this scholarship will also, at the start of the program, receive a monthly contribution for your living expenses. And so the idea of this scholarship is that awardees, when they return to their home country, so they have the opportunity to study and really apply the skills learned during this program when you return to your home country and find a job there. Yes, so it's of course important to check if you're eligible to apply for this scholarship. And the World Bank Scholarship has quite some strict in their eligibility criteria. So we will just quickly go through them. So first, it's the scholarship is for people from developing countries. So therefore, it's not you should not have a dual citizenship with a developed country. You should be of sound health. Well, this is something for you yourself to establish, of course. So another eligibility criteria is that you have a bachelor's degree obtained at least 3 years prior to the application deadline. And so that means that you should be graduated from your bachelor degree no later than 23rd of May 2022. So that's good to keep in mind. So you should be currently employed in a development-related work position and should be paid full-time. It's maybe also good to tell you here that you should have at least 3 years of working experience. Yeah, so that's also a criteria to keep in mind. You should have an unconditional admission letter, or when you apply, you should be unconditionally admitted. So, for instance, it can happen that you're going to be admitted for the program, but it is conditionally. Then, for instance, if you are conditionally admitted on your English language test that you will still need to fulfill, then you should send the English test results before the 28th of February to be unconditionally admitted so that you can apply. And the last eligibility criteria is to be a national of the World Bank list of developing countries. And we can see those a bit in the next slide. So this is just the few first countries, but there's of course a full list of eligible countries. You can scan the QR code or you can find the link on the IHS website as well for the full countries list.
Yes, thank you, Laurel. And before we move on, as Laurel mentioned, one of the criteria is that you have applied, or at least you hold admission letter for IHS. So we just wanted to see how many of you have applied already or are planning to apply. So on your screen, you should be able to see a poll. If you can quickly submit your answer. All right, I see quite a few have applied already. That's nice. Okay, you have okay. There are a few of you in the process of applying, so maybe later on, if you have any questions, you can address them to Laurel. As I mentioned, she's the admission officer, so if there is anything unclear, we can address it later. From here, I will move on with, maybe.
Yeah.
Sorry, Laurel.
So we can first cover how you can apply for the scholarship. So you should first check your eligibility. Sorry. And so it's important, if you want to be considered for the World Bank scholarship, you should submit your application to one of the IHS UMD master tracks by the 28th of February. So that's at the end of this month. So please note that any applications after this deadline cannot be considered. So it's important to be on time. And then, so if you have submitted your application, you will receive the outcome of your, if you are admitted or not. And so if you are admitted, so then you receive an admission letter. And then in your admission letter, you can find the next steps that you will need to take. And IHS will shortlist a number of candidates that can apply for the World Bank scholarship. And only those that are shortlisted will receive the link to apply to the scholarship. So it's not that everyone can apply, but only those that are shortlisted will receive the invitation from IHS to apply for this scholarship. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. And maybe it's good to mention that the shortlisted candidates are the ones that meet the criteria, so it's important that you really check that and make sure that you are eligible. Now moving on to the next part of the presentation, a little bit about IHS. So I see maybe half of you have already applied and might be familiar with IHS, but just a quick introduction of our activities and what we do. IHS is an international research institute. We are based in Rotterdam and they're at the Erasmus University. And our work is based on these three pillars that you see: education, research, and advisory. Education is represented through our programs. So not only the urban management and development, but also short courses and PhD that we offer. And this is closely related to the research and advisory work that the academic staff is doing, because they're involved in writing papers, doing research in the Global South, but also advisory projects with partner institutions, governmental bodies, and all this experience that they have from working in the field, they also bring it to the classroom. And in this slide, we have a short video to give you a little bit of an idea how the life on campus looks like. As I mentioned, IHS is based at the Erasmus University, or the campus Waldestein. And what you see here is sort of a virtual tour around the facilities. So there is hairdresser, bike repair, many other initiatives, associations that you can join. There is also a sports center if you want to be in shape during your studies, or just maybe relax between classes and exams. And all these facilities are available also for the IHS students to participate. The full tour is also available on the Erasmus website. So if you're curious to watch it, you can head to their website later on. And now I will give you a quick introduction of the Master of Science. So for those of you who are not familiar, this is a one-year master degree with 4 master tracks or specializations, which I'll quickly cover in the next slides. And once you graduate, you will receive a diploma from the Erasmus University, which is ranked in the top 2 in the world, top 2% in the world, and you will be immersed, so to say, in a highly international environment, as we have a very international student body coming from different countries, both from Global North and Global South. And you will be learning not only from the professors, but also from the experience of your classmates. What we offer is impactful education, because many students, like the World Bank awardees, go back to their home countries, and they help their local community or city to be more sustainable, more inclusive in the future. And then you also learn important job market skills, whether you want to stay in the Netherlands or you want to go back. You will be equipped with knowledge and skills that will help you to work in the urban field. The master is organized in 1 year, so it's divided into 3 blocks. In the first block, which starts in September, you will be all together. All 4 specializations have classes. Some of them are listed here on the slide, such as urban governance and participation, urban complexity. And then this block ends around the winter holidays, so end of December. And once you come back, you start the specialization period. So here the students are divided into the 4 masters, and they have specific courses. And then you also in parallel have research design, which is the start of the development of your thesis, and other skills workshops. And then from April onwards until your graduation in August, you are fully focused on the thesis proposal, the data collection, the writing, and you don't have any classes. So students can go back to their home country. They can also stay in Rotterdam, depending also what their topic is. Now, just quickly going over the 4 master tracks. The first one is Urban Digital Transformation and Innovation. This is one of our newest tracks, which focus on digitalization, digital innovation, and how we can implement that in cities to make them more sustainable. And students focus on 2 topics, so to say. With one of them is economic development, and the other one is algorithmic governance. To read more about the curriculum, about the master track itself, on each slide you will see a QR code that you can scan, which leads to our website. So if you want to learn more about the topics, you can head to our website. But some of the topics are machine learning, big data analytics, governing digital innovation. In each master track, the students also have field trips that are master track specific. In this one specifically, the last batch of students went to the Rotterdam port, which is also the largest port in Europe. And they learned its role in urban networks. They also got to learn from the Rotterdam public transport, RET, and how digital tools are used in city innovation and infrastructure. The other master track is urban housing and land justice. Here, the focus is on the rights to land and housing and urban services. So some of the topics are equality, justice. Here, students will also learn about the 5A's framework, which is developed by the IHS housing specialists. You also have the opportunity to conduct your thesis abroad, specifically with one of our partners, Anna University in Chennai, where you can be part of a thesis atelier. And also one of the field trips is together with experts from TU Delft on housing projects in the Netherlands. The other master track that we have is Urban Environment, Sustainability and Climate Change, that also, as I mentioned in the beginning, Elohim is part of. So if you have any questions about her student experience in the track, you can ask in the Q&A box. Here the focus is on climate change, adaptation, mitigation, and the link to sustainable air, land, and water management. During the specialization period, you will be learning about different challenges, solutions, approaches to climate resilience strategies, policies. You will also have a final assignment for an organization where you will be working with real-life data and you will be advising them and presenting to key stakeholders. Here, the field trips last year included some visits to Rotterdam and Amsterdam. Specifically in Amsterdam, the students learned about the donut economics concept, and they also saw how it is implemented in practice in a community work center. And the final master track is strategic urban planning and policies. This, out of the 4 master tracks, this is, I would say, the least technical one because it focuses a lot more on negotiation skills, working with stakeholders, policy advisory work, as you see here, stakeholder negotiation, scenario modeling, and here the students visited a project in Rotterdam, which is an old factory that has been repurposed into a residential area, and how the community works together to create positive change. And after covering all the master tracks, we have another poll where we ask you in which one you're interested. Some of you have already applied, so you can also indicate which one you have applied to, so we can also get a better understanding, what you're interested. I see quite a few people for environment, nice. Housing, planning, and digital. From here, I will go back to Laurel, who will give you just a bit of general information about the master.
Yes. Okay, so the master program, it's 12 months. It's a year. It starts in September until August 2026. So the tuition fee is 18,600. And we have an early bird discount. So this is a discount of 2,000 euros from your tuition fee if you submit your fee by 15 May. And so for this, you need to basically submit your application before 15 April so that we have enough time to for the next steps. The regular application deadline is the 1st of June for non-EU, EU, EEA applicants, and the 1st of July for EU, EEA applicants.
Maybe good to mention this is also relevant for those of you who do not manage to secure a scholarship in case you have maybe personal savings or can apply for a loan. Yeah, those deadlines are more applicable.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so we can cover the admission requirements. That's also quite important. So one of the admission requirements for the master program is that you have a good academic performance, meaning at least a second class lower, a B or equivalent. You can find this in your transcripts of your degree. Yeah. So my colleague Mika already mentioned that we have a lot of students in the classroom who are from different countries. So that means there's also diverse cultures in the classroom, and yeah, it's always nice to be able to interact with different people. Then it's also important to have a bachelor's degree from a recognized university in a field that's related to the urban development. And so we have on the IHS website per track, we have a list of degrees that are relevant, and so that are fully relevant and partially relevant. And if you're not sure if it's relevant, your bachelor's degree, then you can always send an email to admission@ihs.nl so that we can give you an advice. Then it's important to have sufficient command of English language. And so if you are from a country where the language is English, then you don't have to submit any proof to prove your English. But if you don't, and for instance, you have graduated from a degree that was taught in English, at least like no longer than 3 years ago, then you also don't have to do a test. But if that doesn't apply to you, then you need to take either the IELTS or the TOEFL test, and you can submit the relevant scores. Yeah. And then the last admission requirement is it's not a requirement, but it can be beneficial to have working experience, especially if you don't fully meet. If, for example, if you don't fully have a relevant degree, then that might be, that might be useful. Yeah. Okay, so the upcoming deadlines. So as I mentioned before, the 28th of February is the deadline to submit your application to IHS. And then if you are nominated, so if you're shortlisted to apply for the World Bank scholarship, then you receive the link. And then the application deadline for the World Bank is the 23rd of May. And then you can expect the outcome in July.
Yes, thank you, Laurel. Now we will move on to a short interview, so to say, with Elohim. As I mentioned in the beginning, for those of you maybe who joined a bit later, Elohim is a World Bank awardee and is currently part of our Urban Environment Sustainability and Climate Change master track. And maybe, Elohim, can you please introduce yourself and maybe a little bit about your background before coming to IHS?
Hello. Do you see me?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. First of all, congratulations for those who got the admission for the academic admission. Even if you are still in the process of securing your scholarship, being admitted at IHS is a testament to your potential. So something you need to proud. And for those who are still waiting to apply for the admission, please do your admission. My name is Elohim Zalek Forsido. I'm a master's student in urban development and management in the specialization track of urban environment sustainability in climate change at IHS Rasmus University. I was awarded World Bank Scholarship for the academic year of 2024-25. I came from Ethiopia, and to explain my academic background, I have a BSc degree in civil engineering and master's degree in road and transport engineering. I got all both my bachelor and master's degree from Ethiopian universities. I also, maybe it might help for some of you, I also worked as a road project engineer, road project engineer for almost 6 years in one of Ethiopian governmental institution, which is Ethiopia Road Authority. I worked as a project engineer. It might help you because uh, the working experience in related to my background. Yeah.
Nice, thank you. And yeah, now if you can walk us through the application process, when did you start? Like, how do you prepare? Any challenges that applicants should be aware, and any tips that you have to share with them?
Okay. Yeah, I'm really excited to share my experience with you. And I saw a lot of comments in the chat session. I think most of your question is related with the eligibility requirement. Please go to the website either for IHS or World Bank and read properly the eligibility requirements. Then now I want to share you my experience with World Bank scholarship process, how I started to prepare my documents, how long the process took, and the key tips that I found really helpful for my application. First, I will start with the document preparation. After I received the scholarship link from IHS, I carefully read through the requirements and necessary documents, and not just only once. I read multiple times throughout the whole process. So you need to be sure that you need to read every time the requirements, the necessary documents. So that's really helpful. So I also created a checklist. I created a checklist of the required documents and forms based on the application guideline. So some of the forms had to be downloaded and filled out. So having the checklist really helped me to track what I already had and what I still needed. So please you prepare your checklist regarding the guidelines. It's really helpful. To stay organized, I also created a dedicated folder on my laptop, and where I stored all my documents. Whenever I had a free time, I worked on filling out the forms or refining my motivation letter. Um, Actually, the scholarship motivation letter is a bit different than the one you are going to write for the admission. Um, for the scholarship application, there are a couple of questions that I need to answer, which is like, it is similar like essay. It is almost, it's kind of essay. So I want to emphasize a bit here because it is basic part of the application. So you need also give a focus when you apply for the scholarship. I started working on my motivation letter early and refined it over time. I didn't try to write everything on one day or on one night, but instead I revised and improved it until a final submission date. This really gave me like to generate better ideas and strengthen my responses. So I encourage you to start drafting your essay as soon as you get the link from IHS for the scholarship application. A key tip I want to give you here is when answering the scholarship question, try to connect the question to real issues in your home country on the city that you live. So show how this master's program will help to address specific challenges in your field, in your country, like in the broader sense, like put your country in the broader, not make it personalized. Don't just make with your professional thing. Just put the bigger image your country. Just focus on your country, the issues, like the issues on your country. Focus on the country and indicate the impact of the scholarship. This is scholarship on your country, on also on your personal skill. Additionally, link your academic background and work experience to the master's programs that you are going to pursue at IHS. Show a clear connection between your past achievements and how this scholarship will help as an individual and also as a country to overcome the challenges and the gaps in your country. So this is the one I just mentioned. I want to emphasize on the document part, and I want to, okay, on the second part, I want to tell you how long did the application take. For me, the process took over a month due to a delay from one of my recommender. He was super busy, and one of my recommender and didn't complete the recommendation within my preferred time frame, and I ended up submitting my application 1 week before the deadline. But I remember I really frustrated due to, because whenever I asked him, he replied, I'm busy. So you need to be sure, like the right recommender for your application. And my advice for you is, as soon as you get the application link, secure a strong recommender. At least you need to find 2 recommender who can write solid reference about your performance. Also, before submitting your recommenders detail on your application portal, talk to them about the scholarship and explain the importance of their recommendation for the success of your application. Also confirm they received the recommendation link from the World Bank, because last year I faced an issue where my recommenders didn't receive the email because our institution system marked the email from World Bank as an untrusted source and blocked the email. So after a week, kind of, when I checked how it is going, the recommendation process, they told me they didn't receive any link from the World Bank. Then, so I had to enter their detail in the portal, but the same issue also occurred. But later, we identified the problem and resolved the issue, and they submitted the recommendation, and it's really helpful because this one is one of the requirements for the success of your application. So please go and find 2 recommenders, and that you are be familiar with them, and also just ask them politely to write like nice recommendation about you. So this also are my steps that I followed last year. So for the last, like applying for World Bank scholarship requires like patience and organization. So please give your time. I know you are so excited to apply and to come to here to pursue your master's, but give time and sit and give time. Always think about what you are going to write on the essay part, and please focus on your essay, and don't be fast. You have like enough time, and just write nice thing, write the issue in your country. And this is, I think, all my advice for you. And I wish you all the best on your application. Yeah, this is all. Mihaela, I just finished it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope also that the audience took notes and will take your advice into account. And again, if you have any questions for Elohim, you can drop them now in the Q&A box, because in a bit we will move on to your questions. So to read more about the scholarship, you can head to our website by scanning the QR that you see. And if you have any questions, you can send them to course inquiries. These are specifically for the scholarship, but if you have questions on your admission or you're not sure and you need advice, you can email admission@ihs.nl. We can put the email address in the chat in a bit. And if you want to be up to date with what is happening at IHS, any updates about the master program, you can follow us on different channels like Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube as well, where we will upload this webinar. And from here, I would suggest that we move on to the Q&A. I will stop sharing my screen for a bit so you can also see our faces. And I saw there are quite a few questions in the Q&A, so maybe we will start addressing them one by one. And Laurel, thank you for answering some of them already. Okay, we will start with the first one, which is how many scholarship opportunities were awarded last year and how many scholarships are predicted to be awarded this year. So this we do not know because normally it's up to World Bank and their selection committee how many students will be awarded, and every year the number of students is different. So this is also important why your application must be very strong, and you need to make sure you meet the eligibility criteria so that you get awarded in the end. The next question is a bit long. I read it a bit earlier, but in general, I would also suggest maybe if you have more specific questions about your background, you can send them to admission@ihs.nl. I don't know, Laurel, if you managed to read it, and maybe you can
Yeah.
answer now or.
Yes, no, thank you. Yeah, so in any case, you can, if you are not sure, you can send an email to Epishem. But so if you are not sure how to count your like different working experience, so to see if it's 3 years, there's like the FAQ on the website. There's an FAQ, like a document from the World Bank FAQ, and there it explains how you can count the different working experience towards your 3 years working experience. And also, I want to mention that internships are also counted towards this experience. But just anything that relates to development is relevant in this 3-year working experience criteria.
Thank you. I think this was also there was another question before that. Maybe you answered it already. I'm not sure. Yeah, I see that you already did from Mayavira, so I will skip to the next one. Yes, this is again, I think a background check, so to say.
Yeah, so yeah, I can maybe. Do you want to say anything, Mika? Or?
No, you can
Okay.
go.
Yeah. So I see environmental health. That's and sociology and peace building. That's definitely relevant for the master degree. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe also we can mention that if you're not sure, indeed, so we have a list of eligible or relevant and fully and partially relevant backgrounds for each master track. So you can check there, and then if maybe you cannot find your master, maybe you have previous experience that is relevant. So we still advise you to submit your application. We also look at the research proposal that you have to write. So we look overall at your how your profile fits, not only your educational background. Does basics in economics, I guess, work for the master track? I heard sustainability in housing finance.
Yeah, so thank you, Pamela, for the question. I think it's best to send your transcripts to admission so that we have time to check the courses listed under your transcripts and give you an advice.
Nice. Let me just move this one as well. I reached out regarding the preparation of the recommendation letter. I would like to confirm whether I ask for the personal email address or requested the organization's email address for correspondence. Maybe Elohim, do you?
Okay, I think they're asking me to share. It's okay, I'll share it.
I think the question is for the recommendation.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah. If they have institutional email, it is better to send them the institution email, because otherwise, if it is like Gmail or Yahoo, they couldn't identify who really this person is. So they need to go further assessment to identify who really this person, the recommender, is. So instead of just going all this process, it is better to give institutional email address. That will be like more easier.
Nice. Thank you. And yeah, I see in the chat they asked for your contact details. If you are okay with sharing that, maybe you can connect on LinkedIn or by email.
To add that in the FAQ of the World Bank, they also explain about the recommendation letter. Maybe you can also find more information about that there. Yeah.
I see a question on the thesis proposal. Can I work on it while I'm back at my home country entirely, or how long is it allowed to work on it remotely?
Yeah, so I know that so in the beginning of the thesis process, you will work on your research proposal. And so only if you if you have a pass for that and you have received your fieldwork letter to do the data collection, from that moment you can do your thesis abroad until the deadline. Yeah.
Thank you. I see there is a question again. So a question from Shratika. I hope I pronounced this correctly. On the years of experience and also whether India is still part of the eligible countries. So personally, I'm not sure, but we have shared earlier in the slides the World Bank developing countries. They're also on our website. So if you open the World Bank page, you can find the full list there. Let me see. There is a question for the 4 tracks. Are we applying for window number 2, which is from March 25th?
I think it is window 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, window 2.
Yeah, another question on the unconditional offer. So are we supposed to secure unconditional offer by 28th of February to be eligible? My IELTS exam will be issued after 28th of February.
Yeah, so the rule is that you should be unconditionally admitted. So in that case, I would just send an email to admission and we can check. We can provide you with an answer.
What is the deadline for application for the urban environment? So this depends if you're applying for the World Bank scholarship. We mentioned this is 28th of February. This is the application deadline for IHS. But the final deadline, depending on your nationality, is either 1st of June or 1st of July. If I'm
Yeah.
Maybe question for Elohim. Are there any tips about the CV regarding the length specifically?
There is a format, still the forms for the CV. World Bank have, they will send you in the link. There are forms for CV. You need to prepare your CV on that format. So you shouldn't submit other format. There is a format or form on the link. So that's what I am just talking earlier. You need to read everything from the application guideline. Every question that you are asking here is there. So you need to read everything. Also, there is a form for the CV. You shouldn't prepare other CV. There is a form. So you need to be sure about that. There is a form. it is like not a complicated one. It is easy, and you should prepare your CV in line with that form.
Thank you. There is a question, yeah, so if we get nominated but don't get selected, we will know by July and the early bird discount will end by then. Will we have to pay full fee then? Yes. In this case, you will have to transfer the full tuition fee. Um, mm, 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 mm. Yeah, nice question on the visa. Will the World Bank help with the visa application? Elohim, maybe you can also answer
No,
this one.
no, there is no, World Bank will not help you on the visa application. They will only sponsor you, the other, but I think the visa fees are around 250. You need to pay by yourself for that one, but other things are just covered by the World Bank. Only visa fee are not being covered by World Bank.
Yeah, and so in case you are admitted, IHS will also inform you of the whole process on how that works. So yeah, you don't have to worry about that.
I see a question on the research proposal that we get very often. Maybe we can address that. The application requires that I write a research proposal that I require to write a research proposal. Can I change the topic if admitted? So maybe, yeah, Laurel, you can clarify how.
Yes, no, for sure you can change it. So this is what you write in the proposal is not doesn't have to be what you're actually going to do. It's just so that we also have an idea of of the skills that you plan to apply or not plan to or that you think can be useful. So no, you can if you change your mind, that's absolutely fine.
There is also a question about when the link for the from Richard. So if the link for the scholarship is sent together with the admission letter, if the applicant meets the criteria, not exactly. So as we mentioned earlier, we do kind of an eligibility check, and then only the shortlisted candidates will receive a link later on after receiving their admission letter. There is a nice question on can I apply for PhD after master in the same program? So at IHS, we have a PhD on urban development and governance that after finishing the master program, you can apply for. There is more information on our website on the current researchers, the supervisors, the topics of the research. So if you're curious, you can also check it there. Let me see if there is anything that we haven't addressed. How much is the compensation provided by the scholarship? Who would like to answer this one? The compensation that you receive is for the tuition fee, for the living costs, the health insurance, and your tickets. I think, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you will receive it in monthly installments once you start the program.
Oh, someone asks about study link. Maybe that's good to clarify. Yeah, because you don't have to do anything in study link if you apply for IHS. That's only for enrolled students that are going to really participate in the program. So it's maybe confusing, but you don't need to do anything there. Just only submit your application to IHS.
Yes. Let me see maybe in the chat because there are some questions there as well. Is there anything, Laurel, maybe that you saw that we should address?
Yes, I wanted to say something. Oh yeah, so people are asking if you are graduated in this and this year, 2018 or 2014. So then you're all eligible. It's just that you have to be graduated no later than 23rd of May 2022, because so basically the whole application deadline for World Bank, in case you are nominated, is the 23rd of May. this year. So that's why the requirement is 23rd of May 2022. So no later than that, but anything before that, that's fine.
There is also a question if you have to leave the Netherlands after the scholarship ends or the master program. The answer is yes. You are required to go back to your home country once, basically the term ends. And also there was a question if you can apply for more than one master program. So if you apply to IHS, you need to select only one of the master tracks. You need to make your decision before applying. You cannot, you don't select it later on, but already when you submit your application. Let me see.
Yeah, also someone is saying, I'm concerned about the limited time between the scholarship results and the start of the UMD. Will there be assistance with housing? So yes, there will be assistance with housing. There's also enough time. I mean, yeah, it's always good, of course, to start on time, but the IHS colleagues will help you on that. I will provide you with advice, tips.
There is also a question about the deferral if you get accepted the scholarship. So it is a bit more complicated. Normally, you cannot defer if you're awarded the scholarship to next year. These cases are, I think, evaluated on individual basis. But you can defer your admission to IHS. Let me see, we have 10 more minutes, so we can address a few more questions. There is again a question on the visa that we addressed. So World Bank will not assist you, so you'll have to do that on your own. Maybe we can repeat again. There is a question for the application deadline for World Bank.
Yes. So you have to submit your application to IHS before 28th February. And then if you are shortlisted, so if you're shortlisted, you will receive the World Bank application link from IHS. And that deadline to really apply for the World Bank scholarship is 23rd of May. And the outcome will be in July.
Yeah. There is also a question, please, I want to know if working as a research associate is relevant for the scholarship.
Yeah, good question. I think, I mean, I'm not part of World Bank really, so I'm not like fully, but if it's related to development, if it's paid, full-time paid position in a development related field, then you can apply. And I wanted to say on page 6 of the FAQ of World Bank, you see all the fields that are considered development related. So it's a very long list. So it might also be good to go through that.
Oh, there is a nice question for the, let's say, career development. After that, does the university have any recommendations to potential companies or recruiters that may hire graduates? So there are a few possibilities. First of all, at Erasmus University, there are multiple career days, career support, networking opportunities where you can meet potential employers, but also at IHS we organize our own career days, which have a bit more focus on possibilities in the urban field, specifically for the Netherlands, where we invite alumni that work here and that have managed to find jobs in different sectors in different companies. So and we also offer career workshops as part of these days, career days. Let's see. There are a lot of questions again on your background or working experience. Again, maybe I'm not sure if we put the admission email, but I'll just type it quickly in the chat so you can send your questions after the webinar. Again, if you're not sure if your country is on the list, please go to the country list. It's very clearly stated on the World Bank website. We have linked it on our website as well. Yeah.
Someone is asking if can one apply to IHS during the second round of application for World Bank? So the window that's currently, so that will be open. That's only for, so IHS will only be eligible for that round. That's the only round. So there's not a second chance to apply for World Bank.
There's also a question about other scholarships. Thank you for this question, because yes, there are other scholarships. We have a scholarship database on our website where you can also see per country, but you can see partial and full scholarships. But again, please make sure to check the eligibility criteria, the deadlines. There is a partial scholarship called NL scholarship, which is for non-European students who come to study in the Netherlands for the first time, and you might be eligible for that one. There are also some country-specific full scholarships, so please check our website for more details. All right, I think we have covered quite a few questions. Laurel or Elohim, anything else that you might want to address that we didn't?
I think most of the questions are related with eligibility requirements. And if they go and check on the website, they can find anything that related with the application. So you need to read everything on the requirements. So that's really helpful. And they also need to prepare like checklist and read. And yeah, just reading is really like really helpful. And just go to the website of IHS, and they will be like get more information from there.
Yeah, maybe also good to mention that in the end, the selection really depends on the World Bank Selection Committee. We do not have a say in that. We also don't know how many people will be awarded. So just make sure, as Elohim also said, to read carefully the criteria. I see a question about the OKP. Unfortunately, the OKP scholarship or the Orange Knowledge Program is no longer available, and will probably won't be active in the near future. For the time being, there is also no alternative scholarship similar to OKP.
Someone asking how flexible are the courses? Yeah, so that's a good question. Basically, it's up to you how many hours you want to work. I think, yeah, we normally advise students to work no more than 16 hours per week, because the program is quite, it's quite packed. It's only 1 year, of course. But yeah, you can always, if you want, yeah.
Yes, thank you, Laurel. I think we can wrap it up here. Maybe your questions didn't get answered. I'm sorry, we had quite a few to cover, but again, you have our contacts either at admission@ihs.nl or course inquiries at ihs.nl. Also, there is a lot of information on the website that you can read, and just make sure you are well prepared. We wish you good luck with your application, both for IHS and for World Bank, and we really hope to see you at the Institute in the fall. And then, yeah, if you have any questions again or want to be in touch, please, you can find us online. Thank you, and have a good day or evening wherever you joined us from.
Yes, thank you for joining.